what's up? It's Michael here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And I know that your career is one of the key elements that can really improve the quality of your life. So what I want to do in this video is share some of the tips that helped me ace all of my job interviews. Like literally, when I got a job interview, like 80% of the time, I would actually get the job because of these things. So some of these might seem a bit obvious. Some of them are like ninja mind hacks. But like all of these are going to help you get better results when you are interviewing for a job. So let's start with the first thing, and that is preparation. Again, this is one of the obvious ones. So here's what I would do. When I would interview for, let's say, a marketing position, what I would do beforehand is like research the company's website, their mission, their vision. And what I would do is I would write out a plan for their marketing, for their website. I would be like, okay, you're dropping the ball on these 5 areas. And whenever possible, in the interview, I would talk about those points that I researched, right? It's something so obvious, so simple. But if you do this, if you come with a plan prepared, they're like, this guy's an action taker. This guy actually knows what he's talking about. And so you show that you know what you're talking about by actually helping them. And don't be afraid to do this, by the way. So many people are like, oh my God, if I just give away the plan, they're just going to take advantage of me. And they're like, going to take my plan, run with it. And they're just not going to see me again. Guess what? They are hiring for that position. They are hiring for a marketer, right? They need the help. They need the hours to put in to actually implement a plan. But by taking the plan to them, you show that you're the one capable of understanding what they're trying to do, what their next steps should be, and you are one step ahead of the competition. So second thing, like these moments are some of the moments where you're most likely to feel nervous, right? It's like a high stakes moment. And so what I try to do when I'm feeling nervous is I don't try to calm myself down. I do not try to do that. Here's why. Biologically and psychologically speaking, calmness and nervousness are like two of the opposites. So when you're trying to tell yourself, I gotta calm down, you physically are unable to do it. It's just too far apart to make that jump. And like it becomes this vicious cycle. You try to calm yourself down, it doesn't work, and now you've got to become more stressed because you can't calm yourself down, and it continues down and down and down. So what I'm trying to do is to rephrase this, right? I'm so nervous to I'm so excited. And many studies have been done on this subject, which is where I read about it initially. And so literally, when you say, I'm excited, which is basically the same feeling in your body, right? It's the tension. But now when you say, I'm excited, it boosts your performance as well as your emotional state. And so you're literally going to do a lot better when you tell yourself, I'm so excited versus I'm so stressed or I'm so nervous, right? So that's just a mental reframe in your mind that really helps you actually get the best performance out of yourself. So thing number 3 then is to use humor and to joke around in the interview. And I know this sounds counterintuitive because it's like a quote unquote serious moment in your life, right? It's one of the most serious moments. But guess what? Your job approval, right? Whether you get a job or not, it's not just dependent on your qualities and how well you present your skills. It's not. Also, likability is a key factor. So literally come in with a smile on your face and when appropriate, when possible, crack a few jokes. Like you're not going to use your darkest humor here, right? Be sensible with this, but where appropriate, make the other person laugh. If you can do that, you are way more likely to be remembered in a positive way, right? We all want to be having more fun, be more enjoyable in our lives, right? And so that's the thing. If you can make the interviewer laugh just a little bit, you're going to be remembered because people forget the exact words you're going to use. People won't remember the way you make them feel. So if you can leave a good vibration, a good energy with the other person, you are way more likely to actually get a job. Okay, next thing then is to tell stories, not to brag. So in your job interviews, you're gonna get questions like, hey, what are your top qualities, right? And so instead of saying, hey, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, say like, hey, I'm good with organization because of these things. And then you go into a story where you highlight that quality. And here's the thing, we are naturally, as people, drawn in by stories. From the day you are born, like your parents tell you fairy tales, they tell you bedtime stories, right? Like from a young age, we are basically taught to listen to and to resonate with stories. So instead of saying, hey, I am organized, I am diligent, I am strategic in my workings, right? You tell a story of, hey, here's how I overcame an organizational problem, and here's what I learned from it. So tell stories. That's a huge key concept. And tangent to this, tip number 5 would be to research things in advance in terms of questions, right? The job interviewers are not rocket scientists. They're not gonna be specifically like tailor their questions to their specific company. So what they're gonna do as well is like, how do I actually give a good job interview? How do I take those? And they're gonna go to Google and they're gonna type in something like best interview questions for a marketing job. So I want you to do the same thing. That's what I did as well, right? I Google like, hey, most common job interview questions. And like, I prepare answers for those questions so that I'm not caught off guard with this. And so, like, research, but take this key concept in mind, where it's like your energy and your vibration over the correct answers. So what I mean by that is this. Like, you can like study an answer and it can sound very robotic, like blah, 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 blah. Like very monotone, very, like I studied this, versus like just being free flowing, free vibrational, right? So that energy of just being yourself, being authentic, that usually helps you win more people over than the static answers themselves. So it's a mix and match, right? It's a combination of the two. Personally, I tend to be more on the free flowing side. Like, I've got perfect answers combined and then I toss them out of the window to tell a story, right? Things like that. So tip number 6, 7, I think we're on right now. And that is to be brutally honest. So for example, people are always going to ask, what are your weak points, right? Instead of thinking like, oh yeah, I'm an overachiever, right? Instead of saying something like that, where it's basically a good quality versus like, and you spin it off as a bad one, right? That's what most people do. Just tell people like, hey, I'm not very organized. Hey, I'm terrible with structure, right? And then also what you want to do is to say how you're working on this, right? Or how you prevent the downsides from this. So for example, like I am the most chaotic person you ever find, right? That's usually not a good thing to say in a job interview. But guess what? If you do that and you say like how you structure your life or your days, like, hey, I'm not very organized, but I like to use post-it notes to keep myself reminded of the important tasks, right? Something like that. That's an actual flaw. Versus, hey, I'm like, whatever it is, like, hey, I work too hard, right? And I stress myself out, right? That's a quote unquote good quality in the context of a job interview. So don't try to spin one of your good qualities into a bad one. Start with your actual flaws, be open and honest about them, and then share how you're working on those. And that's gonna get you way further. Now for one of the sneaky ninja tactics. This is thing number 8, I believe. And so what you want to do is match a mirror. So what I would do, for example, let's say the interviewer just at one moment sits back in their chair. Like I'm telling a story, I'm sitting up front, and then in my story, I'm just like casually laying back myself as well. So you don't want to do this immediately. It's not like they're moving back and you within a second do the same thing. So like a few seconds later, when you're telling a story or whatever, mimic their body language. So if someone is like sitting with their arms crossed, you can like be talking, and at some point it's like, yeah, so what I would do is like this, right? Another effective thing with matching and mirroring is if someone says like, oh, so you're very organizational. You would say, yeah, I'm very organizational because. And so literally you're repeating the last few words from their sentence. And it's going to make them feel heard. It's going to make them feel understood. And it's going to make them feel like, hey, we are connected here. We are on the same page. What you're doing literally is making a bond in their mind unconsciously. Because here's the thing. When you're with friends, you naturally mimic each other's body language. You naturally mimic each other's language. That's what happens because you like the person, right? I like this person and I want to be close to them. And so naturally you do this thing where you mimic their body language, you mimic their words. And so that's the thing that happens naturally. When you're matching and mirroring intentionally and like casually, what you're doing is you're literally sending signals to the other person of like, hey, we are the same. And they can't help but feel like some form of bond with you. They can't help but feel like attracted to you. Like not in a sexual way, but like this person gets me. This person is like me. And it helped me get a lot of the jobs that I went for. Just this subtle thing, right? People won't be able to tell why they like you. But it's this unconscious thing where it really helps you like be more likable, right? That's the thing here. It's very quote unquote sneaky, but it works like gangbusters. It really, really works. So another thing that I would do before any job interview or any stressful moment is to go to the bathroom, go into one of the stalls. I would close my eyes and I would visualize and think about one of the moments where I felt most comfortable in my life, like most confident, most winning, most optimistic, right? I would think of those bright moments in my life. I would close my eyes and I would mimic the same body language I had back then. I would visualize I was there. I had that body language where I was feeling confident, and I would do that for about 2 minutes. And literally, when you do that, your body sends off signals of, I'm feeling confident right now. Literally, your hormones change. Your cortisol goes down. And that, by the way, is a stress hormone. So literally, as you do that, stress goes down, testosterone, the hormone associated with your confidence, it goes up. Literally, just doing that for 2 minutes, it affects how you feel about yourself, and it affects how you feel in your body on a hormonal level. So that really helps you seem more confident in your job interviews. So do that before your interviews. That's one recommendation that I would give to you. And then the final thing is, just before I walk into the room, I would take out my phone, I would go to my WhatsApp or some like Facebook or whatever, and I would take a picture of someone that I really like. I would look at that for a moment, I would smile, and I would imagine like they are there with me, right? And just if you have a smile on your face, if you are in a good mood, that's what you want to do. You want to be in a positive state, right? And so looking at a picture of someone I like, that helps me get that positive mood, get that frame of mind of like, hey, I'm here to enjoy this time. I'm here to make a positive impact. I'm here to ace this thing, right? And so if you do that, like if you can come in with a smile on your face, you've already won part of the battle. Because a lot of the interview process happens before you even sit down and speak a word. Your first impression matters. And like just looking at someone's picture that you like, it brings a positive vibration to you. It's a positive association, and that helps you be better in your job interviews. These are the things that really helped me to ace almost all of my job interviews and get most of the jobs that I got interviewed for. So if you use even some of these, it's gonna help you secure more jobs. So take these from me, run with them, and make these a part of your life. And so I'm Michael from The Unshaped Life. Hope these tips were helpful to you. If they were, leave a quick like, leave a comment, and share this video with someone who needs this, right? Maybe you know someone who is going to a job interview tomorrow. So share this video with them. It really helps me a lot to reach more people, to benefit more people, and it's gonna help them a lot as well. Until then, see you in the next video. Bye for now.